Engaged lessons for the 21st century.
Hi, and welcome to Spreadsheets and $1 trillion. Now, this is Excel spreadsheet or lesson number 20, 1 trillion, and your imagination. We're hoping that by doing this calculation, all of us will have a firmer understanding of what 1 trillion is equal to. Now, we've provided for you this lesson on a hard copy, and we'll also give you a spreadsheet to accompany this video. You'll notice we've broken down this in detail, so there should be no questions whatsoever. For example, the colors will represent different events that are taking place on the spreadsheet to make it easier for you. If it's in green, these are headings, and in a heading you do not have an equal sign. If it's yellow, these are where the equations go, and all equations in Excel must have an equal sign. You'll notice that we've provided for you in detail again all that is required of us. For row 11 is yellow, calculation, heading. Row 14, calculation, heading, calculation, heading. And then the following two columns, for billion and trillion, you will have a little bit more sophisticated one because those are larger numbers. So we provided for you some information for that. Then you're always in row 21, you are going to determine the number of days. Now remember, the idea of this concept is you are going to represent 1 second as 1 penny. So for example, how many seconds does it take to equal 1 million? How many seconds does it take to equal 1 billion? And how many seconds does it take to equal 1 trillion? If 1 second equals 1 penny. Now, before we go to the spreadsheet to look it over, make sure you go to page layout, then page setup, header and footer, custom header, and in there on the left section, you're going to enter your name and grade. On the right section, you're going to click on date and time, then OK. Immediately save this into your folder called Excel as lesson 20 trillion. And remember, this lesson is accompanied with the spreadsheet that we're going to give you, and also a video and this sheet of paper. So it should eliminate any and all questions. Now again, before we go to the spreadsheet, you'll notice we provided for you down here in column A, you are going to do all your calculations for 1 million. In column C, you're going to do all your calculations for 1 billion. And the last one in column E, you are going to do all your calculations for 1 trillion. And you'll find out that often some of the calculations you do for the million will carry over to the billion, and the billion will carry over to the trillion. It's really going to be relatively simple to do. Now, let's look at the spreadsheet so we have a better understanding of the whole picture. You'll notice that looking at this spreadsheet that we've provided for you, we have 1,000, we've illustrated 1 million, we've illustrated 1 billion, and we've illustrated what 1 trillion looks like. Now remember, the problem here is we're going to take 1 second is equal to 1 penny. And you have to determine how much it will cost in money and time for 1 million, 1 billion, 1 trillion. You'll be using 1 second as the foundation for this. Now on the left, here's column A. This is for the million. Column C we said was for the billion. And the last column, trillion, is in column E. Here in the green, remember these are headings. And this is an equation. I mean, it's not an equation because we typed it in and it does not have an equal sign. So we're saying to measure in seconds, we have 1 million divided by 60 seconds. Now over here in 11, the yellow section, I'm going to click on it. You'll notice that when I do that, up here at the top it says equal 1 million divided by 60. And when you do that with an equal sign, all equations in Excel must have an equal sign. It gives you the answer. Then simply take this number and place it down here. This time we're going to determine minutes. How many seconds are there in a minute? So we take the seconds and divide it by 60. And that tells us we have 200. Let me click on here again. Here's the equal sign. We divide that by 60. We have 277.77778 minutes. Now, how many minutes are there in a day? Okay, so we determine the number of minutes, and we place that number here. And you'll notice in the green section, which means it's a heading. Let's look up here at the formula bar. You'll notice there's no equal sign, so it's strictly a heading. However, when we click on the yellow section, we placed all our headings in there. And if you look again up here at the formula bar, you'll notice it says equal 277.77778 divided by 24. And the calculation then is 11.57 days. Now, since the 7 is greater than a 5, we round it up. So it's 11.6 days. So that takes care of 1,000,000. So if it's a penny a second, how long does it take to equal $1 million? 11.6 days. Next, let's go to a billion. Now, we've already figured this out for seconds, minutes, and days, but you'll notice it's a much larger number. And the reason for that is because we're dealing with 1 billion. Now, because of that, the equations are the same. However, let's look at the days here. Here we have the same equation, but in a larger number, and we divide that by 24. So it takes approximately this number of days. Then we divide those days by 360, because there's 360 days in a year. So it's going to take us 32.150 years. So we round that up. So to equal $1 billion at a penny a second, it will take us 32.2 years. Hopefully that makes sense. Now remember, when I click on the yellow section, up here in the formula bar, you'll see it has an equal sign. Okay, you can always refer back to this video. Your spreadsheet won't have these in it, so you need to look at the video to assist you. 1 trillion. Now again, with 1 trillion, you are going to have a huge number. The equations are the same, but the number we're going to divide up here is huge. If you look up here at the formula bar, you can see here's 1 trillion divided by 60. So that gives us the minutes. Now we divide that also by 60. And then for the days, we're going to divide that by 24. And look at the number of days we have. Wow. And then we take our days in this case and divide it by 360. Now in doing so, look at how many years it takes to equal 1 trillion at a penny a second. 32,150.2 years. 32,150.2 years. So, to equal 1 trillion, it takes an awful long time. So we need to be careful how we spend money, or the government has to be careful how they spend money. Now remember, in the yellow section, that's where we have our equal sign, and in the green section, we just have headings to explain what we're about to do. Hopefully all of this makes sense. Now, your spreadsheet will be just like this, only it will not have the equations that we have right here for you. So you're going to have to figure those out yourself, and then you can always pause this video. Hopefully, all of this makes sense, because we're trying to expand your knowledge, not only in Excel, but also in the cost of running a government. Or, here's a better example, when you ask your mom and dad for something, shoes, shirt, jacket, coat, whatever it is, car, you need to know how many hours are they going to have to work to pay for the item that you're asking for. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.